Rocket League is a hard game. Even the pros mess up basic mechanics.
It's free. The back. According to there to shoot. He missed it.
Before I had 4,000 hours, I had to learn every mechanic alone. But over the years, I've built the #1 coaching service in Rocket League and become the #1 Rocket League teacher on YouTube, working with some of the best pros in the world. After seeing thousands of players struggle, I've put together the exact roadmap of mechanics that will help you rank up faster than your average diamond teammate. In this video, I'm gonna rank the best mechanics for each rank, tier list style, and I'll be crowning one mechanic the king of each rank. Plus, for the mechanics to get GC and SSL at the end, I brought in a former pro player to break them down. All training packs you see on screen will be linked in a sheet you can access for free in just 2 clicks. Click the first link in the description to join my free Discord, and my free training pack sheet will be first thing when you land. Let's get started. Starting with bronze to gold. The mission in bronze to gold is to make contact. Yes, just hit the ball. It's easier said than done, and the #1 thing that holds new players back in Rocket League is, you guessed it, settings. So the only mechanic going in the bronze to gold tier is settings. There are 4 critical settings you need to fix before you start playing ranked. #1 is camera settings. #2 is binds, ideally controller binds. #3 is dead zones and sensitivities. And #4 is camera shake. Just turn this off. Just turn this off. Now, you might think this is obvious, but I've coached grand champs with bad settings. Spoiler, I'm the grand champ with bad settings. For those of you who don't know, I use Rizzo's controls on my controller, which means I drive with my joystick. It's really bad. So don't be like me. There are 50 plus important settings in Rocket League. Without watching a guide, you will mess something up. First thing after you watch this video, go watch my latest settings guide here. By force, the mechanic that gets the crown in bronze to gold is settings. Moving on to the best rank in Rocket League, platinum. Kicking off our platinum mechanics, we have the wave dash and the half flip. These are the Rocket League bread and butter. Wave dashes to cancel your flip animation and recover faster, and half flips to turn around. You'll want to wave dash 90% of the time you're going from wall to ground, and you'll want to half flip 90% of the time the ball is behind you. Mechanic #2, hitting open nets. Okay, we'll call this one basic shooting. Once you learn how to hit the ball, you are about 10% of the way there. The rest of Rocket League is learning how to hit the ball hard, and then you have to do it consistently after that. But to start, learn the fundamentals of generating max power when you hit the ball. To get the max amount of power, you want to boost through your shot, hit the ball with the front rim, ideally corners of your car, and time your dodge for max power. I'll show you some advanced tricks for this in a second. Next platinum mechanic is kickoff. Attention all platinum, diamond, and champ players, stop driving to the kickoff. As many of you know, I run a paid coaching community where me and my team of pros will coach you guys, and you would be amazed at how many players will join that and they'll come to get coached by me. And by the way, I love all you guys who come get coached by me, but I'll pull up their gameplay, we'll start watching their replay, and I watch you guys drive to the kickoffs. So to start, learn how to use a front flip or a diagonal flip to get to the kickoff. You need to do this so you maintain boost. Then make sure you're flipping at the right time. Ideally, you want a diagonal flip or barrel roll, but at minimum, just make sure we're connecting with the center mass of the ball. Last tip, don't jump too late. I watch so many players, even at Grand Champ, think they're striking the ball in the center when they're striking it in the lower third. If you notice your kickoffs are flying into the air, you are connecting with the ball too low. You need to land and jump sooner to win your kickoffs. Next mechanic on the platinum list is going back post. Before I explain back post, attention platinum, diamond, champ, or GC ranked players. My team of pro coaches will help you rank up in 28 days or less, or we'll give you your money back. To celebrate our new world champion coach, we're offering a limited time coaching guarantee. If you actively follow our coaching for just 4 weeks and you don't improve by at least 100 MMR, we'll refund you. No questions asked. That's how confident we are in what we teach. Click the first link in the description below to join my free Discord, then click the ticket button to apply while spots last. And then get yourself back to back post. Back post is so important, it gets a mechanic spot. For those of you who don't know, back post is the post opposite ball side. When you're defending, generally speaking, we prefer to be at the back post as opposed to the front post because it keeps the net in front of our car. Now, there are exceptions to this rule, but if you can rotate back post, defenders in platinum won't have the mechanics to flick and score on you, and they'll usually just give you the ball. Go back post in platinum, you will get to diamond. Mechanic number 4 in Platinum is the fast aerial. When you start playing Rocket League, you'll do the double jump aerial, but to graduate, you need to learn the fast aerial. The difference is the order which you press your jump button. Double jump aerials, or the slow version, goes jump, jump, boost, whereas a fast aerial goes jump, tilt, jump. There's like a small adjustment in the middle that you do to rise in the air faster. Learn fast aerials and you'll outspeed all your Platinum friends. Finally, the last mechanic in the Platinum section, dribbling, specifically the diagonal flick. If you really want to get ahead of the curve in Platinum, learn basic dribbling. Being able to bounce ball on your car and even just double jump pop it will pay off massively. I would start with single jump pops or double jump pops because you don't need to control the ball very well in order to do it. Once we get to Diamond, we'll talk about more specific flicks that you will learn, and those will carry you. That's Platinum. The number 1 mechanic for Platinum players is kickoffs. It's the easiest to learn, but the biggest payoff because you'll stop getting kickoff cold. Stop autopiloting, learn good kickoffs. I promise you'll gain elo. Moving on to the next rank, Diamond. Mechanic number 1 in Diamond is not running into your front post. It's funny because I'm joking, but I'm not joking. If I have to pick a mechanic, the first one in Diamond is aerial shooting. My pro coach, Shock, former pro player for Ghost Gaming with over 10,000 hours, explained to me that aerial shooting is the biggest power spike you'll get on your shooting. The reason is because when you learn aerial shooting, you can now shoot off the wall. So you can do things like wall clears. We'll include that in the tier list. And you can score from off angles, like in the corner or even off your backboard or even off of advanced mechanics like flip resets, which hold your breath, champ twos, we'll get to in a moment. For aerial shooting, practice my Lightning McQueen method. You aerial right to shoot left and you aerial left to shoot right.
Oh, right. That makes perfect sense. Turn right to go left. Yes! Thank you!
You get the idea. Next mechanic in Diamond is aerial car control. We need to do something big before we learn how to aerial, and that's directional flying. Flying upside down, flying left, and flying right. The reason you need to learn these aerial car control components first is because aerial is actually a combination of all these different things. Now, there are shortcuts to learning aerial, like the method I popularized in my original aerial tutorial that blew up on this channel, but these shortcut methods, like the one I teach in that video, require you to wait until your nose is facing up or your hood is facing towards the screen. If you can learn these methods first, flying upside down, flying left, flying right, when you learn aerial, it'll be so much faster. Your recoveries and wall play will also be a lot better if you understand flying sideways. So use a pack like KevPert's car control pack, where the ball is frozen, to practice right side up, upside down, and left and right. This will improve your speed significantly, your aerial play, and your recoveries. It's a big win for you to learn in Diamond. Next up in Diamond is the biggest power spike in all of Rocket League, the speed flip. It will improve your kickoffs every game, you will be faster on the field, and you will just be better than every other Diamond, at least in 2025. Every year, you have to learn this mechanic sooner. In my 2026 or 2027 tier list, maybe I'll be telling Plas to learn speed flips. But for now, learn speed flip in Diamond or ASAP. Next up is Shadow Defense, which basically just means backwards saves. Diamond is the rank where people will learn how to dribble, and as a result, you need to be able to save their dribbles. If you don't know Shadow Defense, start in Diamond. Next mechanic in Diamond is Power Slide. Specifically, we need to speed up your recoveries. Rapid taps on Power Slide to cut around the ball and do bounce dribbles and catches. Turning around to challenge the ball quickly or grab a boost. And holding Power Slide when you land are all core uses of Power Slide the pros will do without even thinking about it that you need to copy. And remember, we tap the Power Slide button, we rarely hold it, unless we want to do donuts in our ranked games. As an honorable mention, I'll talk about using joystick air roll and, holding Power Slide on landing. Those kind of comprise chaining recovery mechanics. So often you'll need to hold air roll to land on the wall with your wheels and then jump off the wall to wave dash back down and recover. This is kind of like chaining recovery mechanics. Technically, since it's a combo, it's not its own thing, but this is very important that you start doing so that way you can get in the play faster and score more goals and get more saves in your games. Last but definitely not least for Diamond is catches and flicks. Of all the flicks I use in ranked, the diagonal flick's the best. The reason is because it has the best value and highest use in ranked. Unlike the front foot flick, which is easier to save and easier to dunk, the diagonal flick gives you a little bit of direction change. It's great for recovery and it's fast, so you can use it all the time. For that reason, catches and flicks can single-handedly get you out of Diamond. Therefore, this might be a little bit cheating, but I'm going to say both catches and flicks, they win the #1 Diamond mechanic spot. Diamond is ping pong, therefore learn catches and flicks and you will be the king of Diamond. Vote in the comments what you think is most important this year. I'm gonna go with catches and flicks. We're moving on to the champ rank. The first mechanic in champ is air dribbles. I'm talking about simple air dribbles. This is your wall to air dribble IP Joker training pack. Boom, slam it on them setup. So yes, this is permission to learn air dribbles first. Unironically, air dribbles are actually the best of your aerial starter kit. Unlike a ceiling shot, which you probably shouldn't use on defense, an air dribble you can use all around the field just to stay close to the ball, to get it clear, to get a 50, or yes, to score. So air dribbles get the first spot on the champ tier. Second on the champ tier is backboard defense. Just like you have to learn backward saves when people start dribbling against you, you have to learn backboard defense when people can air dribble against you. Backboard defense will happen every single game, and if you can just hit a couple backboard saves training packs, as well as maybe some free play training where you use the left D-pad command to shoot the ball at you, you're golden for defense through champ. Next up in champ is the intermediate flicks. I'm going to include the 45 or the 90 flick here. These take a little bit more time to set up, but will help you bury goals in one-on-one situations. Next in champ is directional air roll. Specifically, you have to pick one, air roll left or air roll right. There's no right answer, but you need at least one. A lot of players will ask me, Luke, I see my favorite pros like Beast Mode and Zen air rolling both ways. Do I need both directional air rolls? No, they can benefit from both, but you will get 90% or 95% even of the aerial car control gains from one directional air roll. The reason is because directional air roll unlocks your joystick so you can move it while midair. This is helpful for more consistent aerial adjustments. And there are also some benefits of air roll, like it reducing knockback and setting you up for flip resets and special touches that you can only get when you air roll. Pick one directional air roll and start using the method I popularized back in 2021 with my famous air roll video. Get started with these ASAP because it's pretty much required in order to get SSL now. I'm going to throw an honorable mention to demos and passing. These are not mechanics, but instead decisions you have to make. Because unfortunately, once you get to champ, not everything will be scoreable with a flick. For passing, the big mistake people make is trusting their solo queue teammate to pass. But for demos, there are two other mistakes you can fix quick. When you get to champ, you'll see a lot of players that just have this boost ball mentality where they hit the ball and then when they're done, they go get boost. But in order to get through champ, you need to think after you finish your play, do I have time to do more things besides just grab boost? This could be bumping the opponents or being annoying, or even just collecting small pads and applying pressure. The second thing is that most people actually bump wrong. A lot of people think you want to bump where somebody is going, but you actually want to bump where they are, because when you bump where they are, you at least make them move. But if you try to predict where the opponent is going, a quick break check can get you scored on. And actually, that leaves us with the king of all champ mechanics, backboard defense. I know you guys were hoping for air dribbles, but backboard defense is a better value mechanic. It's a little bit of training to get the takeoff right and a ton of reward because you'll use this every single game. And once you know it, not that hard to execute. Starting with Grand Champ, the first mechanic is advanced air dribbles. I'm going to include a couple mechanics in this advanced air dribble category. You have your ground air dribbles, like your takeoff off the ground where you pop the ball up. You have chip the ball up and then start a ground to air dribble. You also have things like air dribble bumps, as well as awkward setups off the wall, like dodge control setups or setups where you have to use your neutral jump, which we'll explain and show a little bit in a second. I'll show you some advanced air dribble training from my pro coach Shock because he breaks this down really, really well. Once you get to this rank, you don't really have space, or you won't often have space, to do your cookie cutter wall to air dribble. So being able to gain possession from off angles, off setups, very helpful. You can catch a lot of defenders off guard, and they'll be very, very useful. You'll use them multiple times a game every game. Next mechanic on the Grand Champ list is flip resets. Now, for the longest time, I was in denial about flip resets. I thought you really didn't need them and they were just flashy. But the theme of Grand Champ, which you will find it in a second, is you need to become deadly in the air. When defenders can stop you on the ground, you need to be able to take to the air to create more angles and to create more options, and most importantly, to force them to jump. Flip resets are powerful when defenders can predict an air dribble. If you set up a flip reset properly, they're impossible to save because you could flip at any point. Flip resets are critical in GC1 and GC2. The next mechanic we have is wall stops, or in other words, multi-touches. A wall stop or a multi-touch is when you keep the ball close, but you're not necessarily dribbling it. These often happen near the wall where there's an awkward bounce and you basically lob yourself up a pass. This can happen in the air where you jump up to the ball and land land on the wall. In that case, it's a wall stop. Or it could just be with multi-touches, where let's say you hit the ball in the air off the sidewall and you double tap it again, or you hit the ball off the ceiling and you get another touch. These are not necessarily double taps. They're not necessarily ceiling shots, but they're also not necessarily air dribbles. They're controlled successive touches. Just take a look at this clip from Shock when we were doing 3v3 together.
One more. I'll score if you miss those, I think.
You get the point. The next mechanic is dodge control. This includes things like the speed flip, the twist flip, and the empty jump. What are all these mechanics? Well, the speed flip you learned in Diamond. That's the fastest flip in Rocket League. But the twist flip is a modified speed flip. You're gonna let go of the cancel early, which results in your nose facing up. So pretty much you can speed flip and then immediately boost up. This is critical for back wall air dribble setups, and I actually made a dedicated tutorial to it at the start of this year because I think this is so important in the meta. Also, a part of dodge control is things like empty jumps. Empty jumps are when you let go of your joystick and air roll your car to slightly dodge in a certain direction. These are most important when you're getting awkward air roll setups and you want to counter the recoil or the rebound you get when you make contact with the ball, but you want to keep the ball close. So rather than dodging and flipping and hitting it away from you, you can use an empty jump to stay close. There are phenomenal packs on wall stops and dodge control from the pro coach for Gen G Mobile Racing currently, Kev Pert. These are the training packs that I use to learn this, and it's super important now. For the next two mechanics in Grand Champ, we are going to bundle ceiling shots and double touches. You could potentially learn these earlier than flip resets, but the use case is lower. That's why I didn't really include them in Champ. Yes, it's fun to use ceiling shots in Champ. Yes, it's fun to learn double taps, but at least right now, you don't really need them until Grand Champ. And I'd rather you just get good at air roll first anyways. So they're in GC1 for me. Next up, you have pinches. These are your ceiling and your ground pinches, but more commonly, you're just gonna use your wall pinch to clear the ball out. Specific use case I want to highlight for this is actually pre-jumping defenders. Just like you would early challenge somebody who's setting up a bad dribble on the ground, you should also early challenge somebody who's setting up a slow air dribble on the wall. You can do this by fast airling above them into the wall and just pinching the ball down on top of them. This is great for shutting down plays before they happen. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go to your goal line to save it. Generally speaking, as players get better as well, you need to apply more pressure to them, because if you give space to a good player, they're gonna create a scoring opportunity. Finally, for this section, we have redirects as an honorable mention. Grand Champ is really the first rank where you can trust your teammates enough to go play the upfield on a pass and know that they're going to hit you. And it's also the rank where, unfortunately, you're going to be left behind a lot because people are just so fast at creating breakaways. And so you also need to learn squishy saves, or really just all the fancy saves. You know, saving the ball upside down, even jumping onto your backboard from the ground and then going for saves, and all the other saves, like this one from this Reddle save highlight reel. All these become useful in Grand Champ. Finally, that leaves us with the king of all Grand Champ mechanics. It is the advanced air dribble. The truth is, you need advanced aerial play to outplay people and score at the Grand Champ level. You also need to be able to get the ball in the air from difficult angles. You'll have to create from bad bounces and bad spots in the field, and for this reason, advanced air dribbles takes the cake. Finally, moving on to SSL, I consulted Shock the Pro for this, and I'll just let you hear what he said.
When you're SSL, it's mostly about refinement of the Grand Champ mechanics and like being more consistent at them, and then adding some extra like marginal stuff on top. Like, you don't even really need double flip resets. You don't need musty flicks. Like, I barely use them.
Yeah, at this point, it becomes more choose your own adventure, maybe, as a player.
It is kind of choose your own adventure at that point. SSL is just like, do the things you learn at Grand Champ better and more consistent.
Okay, big thank you to Shock for helping me make this video, and thank you guys for watching. Go click my video on screen. It covers every single Rocket League mechanic, like actually teaching you how to do them pretty quickly, giving some pointers. Go watch that right now. Thanks for watching.